a magical box that determined the fate of nations, and is interpreted today as a tool for human communication with ancient extraterrestrials. But in one interpretation tied to the mythical civilization of Atlantis, it was a device built with the advanced knowledge of people from the ancient world. In one of his commandments, the God of Moses instructs the creation of a box with specific features, as a tool to communicate with this very God. This box, considered the most important legacy Moses left to the Israelites, is called the Ark of the Covenant and was supposed to be placed in a special location called the Tabernacle. This term meant a dwelling place and a designated area known as the Sanctuary of God. Initially, it was made as a tent, and after the construction of Solomon's Temple, a fixed area was defined for it. In discussions about ancient extraterrestrials, theories suggest that the Ark of the Covenant was a communication device used by extraterrestrials to contact humans on Earth. According to some theories, ancient extraterrestrials' headquarters were in Earth's orbit, and they used specific tools to communicate remotely with humans. One of these tools was the Ark of the Covenant. These theories emphasize the use of pure gold, a conductive material widely used in telecommunications, and the unique design of special plates created for the Ark, indicating that it might have been a radio device. In stories about the Ark of the Covenant and its placement in its special tent, it is mentioned that when God's presence was with Moses, a cloud would appear above the tent. This cloud guided the Israelites during their escape from Egypt, and the descriptions of this cloud are frequently referenced by believers in ancient extraterrestrials, who argue that ancient aliens used this cloud to camouflage their flying devices. But communicating with God was only one of the Ark's functions. The Israelites used the Ark in many battles as a tool to destroy enemy armies. The most famous account is related to the Battle of Jericho, a city with strong walls that made its conquest difficult. Following the orders of Joshua, their leader at the time, the Israelites marched around the city for 6 days with the Ark at the forefront, and 7 priests blew their special trumpets. On the 7th day, after marching around the city 7 times, everyone shouted in unison, and the city's walls collapsed. Another story tells of how, on their way to Canaan, when they reached the Jordan River, as soon as the Ark's bearers reached the water's edge, the water dried up in front of them just as it did when Moses and the Israelites fled Egypt. This led the Israelites to believe that carrying the Ark guaranteed their victory in battles, but later they realized they had misunderstood, as in one battle, the Philistines not only won but also captured the Ark, a decision they later came to regret. Wherever they placed the Ark, severe calamities befell the people of that place. Initially, they installed it in a temple, and the following morning they found the temple's main idol fallen before the Ark. They reinstalled the idol, and the next day they found it not only fallen again but also broken, requiring repair. They then took the Ark to a place called Ashdod, but its people fell victim to a strange disease. They moved the Ark to the next city, but as soon as it was placed, a boiling rain fell upon the people, covering their bodies in blisters. Eventually, after 7 months, they returned the Ark to the Israelites. These stories suggest that the Ark of the Covenant harmed anyone other than the Israelites. But this interpretation isn't entirely correct. At the time the Philistines returned the Ark, a group of Israelite men, out of curiosity, looked at its inside, resulting in the immediate death of 70 of them. During King David's reign, as he ordered the Ark to be moved to Jerusalem, an incident occurred in which one of the convoy's companions touched the Ark's body and died instantly. The lethal nature of touching the Ark of the Covenant was nothing new. From the outset, individuals with special training were responsible for transporting it. They used specially designed wooden poles to avoid touching the Ark itself. It is even mentioned that the Ark's bearers had to wear special clothing, and based on accounts of the strange illnesses that afflicted those who were near it, some have deduced that the Ark was a highly dangerous electrical device. After its installation in the temple Solomon built in Jerusalem, only the high priest could enter the area where it was kept once a year, after completing specific preparations and wearing special garments. Even then, there was a risk of harm, as various writings suggest that if the high priest emerged safely from the Ark's vicinity, it was considered a good day for him. The Jewish rituals and ceremonies in Solomon's temple ended with the Babylonian attack and the city's capture in 891 BCE. Nebuchadnezzar, the Babylonian king, tired of the constant rebellions of Jerusalem's rulers, ordered the city's destruction and the temple's complete demolition, taking everything there as spoils. According to this story, one interpretation is that the Ark of the Covenant fell into the hands of the Babylonians and was taken to Babylon with them. From the time of this attack onward, no writings mention the Ark of the Covenant, suggesting its traces should be sought in the Babylonian royal treasury. But those who pursued the Ark based on this hypothesis found evidence that the Babylonians never captured it. Since Babylonian rulers were meticulous about documenting their history and possessions, many of the tablets recovered from this civilization include inventory lists and accounts of their spoils from Jerusalem. But the Ark of the Covenant isn't listed, and the last texts referencing the Ark date back to the period before Solomon's temple's destruction, after which the Ark vanished. One theory suggests that as the Babylonians conquered Jerusalem after a nearly 2-day siege, Solomon's temple priests, certain that the city was doomed, managed to secretly move the Ark of the Covenant out of the city through underground tunnels under the temple, or hid it in a secret location within those tunnels. These tunnels do exist and are mentioned in discussions about the Knight Templars, the first knights who introduced themselves to Jerusalem's ruler as protectors of pilgrims, secured residence within the remnants of Solomon's temple. One story mentions that after settling in an area near the temple, they weren't seen for days, prompting some to believe they had left Jerusalem, only to reappear from their residence and promptly depart. Later, visitors to the site discovered a route leading to tunnels beneath Solomon's temple. Hence, some believe that the Knight Templars discovered treasures hidden by temple priests during the Babylonian attack, including the Ark of the Covenant. Surely you can guess that the Ark of the Covenant's alleged capacity to destroy enemies has driven many enthusiasts of the supernatural to seek it. As rumors of the Ark being hidden in one of Egypt's pyramids reached many rulers, the Abbasid Caliph Mamun tried to drill a hole in the pyramid wall in search of it. Napoleon and Hitler are also figures known to have sought the Ark throughout history. Some imagery in ancient Egyptian artifacts depicting figures carrying a box similar to the Ark of the Covenant aligns with this theory, suggesting that Moses, as the pharaoh's child, was acquainted with the advanced knowledge of the ancient Egyptians from an early age. When he fled Egypt, he took some of Egypt's valuable possessions, including the Ark of the Covenant. The Ark was an heirloom of the Egyptian rulers, and the pharaoh's anger upon learning of the Israelites' escape under Moses' leadership was not because of their departure but due to the stolen artifacts. Yet his attempt to recover the items failed. Exploring this topic, one finds discussions that the cuboid structure within the king's chamber in the Great Pyramid is sized to fit a box with the dimensions specified for the Ark of the Covenant. In this theory, the box placed inside this structure was an advanced tool capable of generating substantial energy, and the pyramid itself served as an energy hub for the ancient civilizations in present-day Egypt. We reviewed all these stories to arrive at the final discussion on Atlantis in these 2 books. You may recall from previous videos that the people of Atlantis could produce their civilization's energy using special crystals. In this narrative, the Ark of the Covenant was also created with Atlantis technology, and only those familiar with this civilization's knowledge could operate it, which ties back to Moses and the education he received in Pharaoh's court. Thus, Ra, after his journey to Atlantis, and upon transferring some of the writings, knowledge and technology of this civilization to Egypt, discovered the location of the pyramids in Egypt, constructed energy-generating devices based on Atlantis knowledge, and transformed the Great Pyramid into Egypt's primary energy center. When Moses and his people left Egypt, hoping to use the ancient Egyptians' methods in a new world they would build, they took some of Egypt's ancient tools with them, including the Ark of the Covenant, a tool most of them didn't understand fully, thus regarding it as a supernatural object.